All right, this is going to be Real Talk episode 10. And for those of you that are unaware, or even if you've been here before, the Real Talk episodes are really just me talking about whatever. I'll have a loose topic that I want to discuss in the title, and then I'm just pretty much going to say whatever I want after that. It's not really going to stick to any particular thing. I'm not going to read off of anything, but before I get into it, I would like to tell people that are watching if you could please kindly subscribe. About 60% of my viewers are not subscribed, and it would greatly help the channel and me for that matter. And please, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button as well and share the content wherever you can. So, with all that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about my personal life. Not too much, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight as to things that are going on in my world and why sometimes you'll see me disappear for a week or whatever. Because I have a life too, right? Like everybody has their life and whatever you do outside of YouTube. And it is what it is. We're all humans, right? We're all living in this world. No matter how wise or how smart or intelligent or well off you are, we are all humans in this world, all living together. And even Kim Goguen herself, right? She has things that she has to do and restrictions, and she's not exactly living a free life either, right? We are all here. We're all going through the struggle. And I have my own struggles, right? So if you see me, disappear for a week, you might be like, well, he hasn't uploaded in a week. What's going on? Why isn't he around? Well, it's because I'm dealing with personal things, right? And all I have to say, because I don't want to get too into it, but I do want to address my personal issues, is that this last year for me has really probably been the toughest, hardest year of my life. It's been pretty difficult. I'm not going to lie. I've been going through a lot of things. And the things I've been dealing with have mostly been due to people in my life. For better or for worse, everybody is presented with people in their lives that can either be a good thing or a bad thing in your life, right? People can be good to you or bad to you. And you have to deal with the cards you're dealt, right? Personally, for me, I've had people that I felt I could trust, that I cared about, that I loved, yada, 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 right? I'm not going to get into relationships and who's who and what's what. But what I will say is that those human relationships or situations can cause a lot of strain and stress on people. And it can turn somebody who may seem confident or willing to do whatever, is always ready to go, into somebody that doesn't do anything and is paralyzed by whatever situation they're dealing with, right? And that's kind of like what's been happening to me this past year. Now, I'm not going to put blame on anyone or anything, but I will say is we're all humans. We all can get better, right? And I'm not going to hold any ill will towards people in my life that I feel have held me back or haven't been as trustworthy or loyal to me as I felt like they should have been. That's the best way I can put it. It could be friends, it could be loved ones, family, whatever. But the case that I'm trying to make is, and those people, if they're listening, they know who they are. Let's just say we can all get better, right? I can get better. I can do better. They can get better. They can do better. And I'm not going to hold grudges against anybody. And that goes for anybody that watches me or has come to this channel before or whatever. If I've gotten into it with you and we've had problems, so be it. What I would ask is if you come back to the channel and you want to talk to me or discuss things, do it in a polite way and don't get into a pissing match with me because you're going to lose. And I'm very confrontational, right? That's one thing that's never going to change. No matter what, I'm always going to defend myself, right? If somebody comes at me the wrong way, I'm going to defend myself. But like I said, this isn't directed specifically towards anyone, even though I do have certain people in mind that I'm talking about and they know who they are. But in general, we can do better as people in terms of communication, in terms of getting along, in terms of trying to reach common goals and common grounds, right? I try to do that as best as I can with people. And sometimes people don't want to work with me. And there's not much I can do. If I'm trying to work with you and you don't want to meet me halfway, there's nothing I can do about that. You put me in a position where things turn negative, because if I'm trying to work with you and you don't want to do your part to meet me halfway so we can work together, no matter what it is, whether it's just a simple conversation or more than a conversation, then there's nothing I can do, right? It just turns negative and tempers fly and yada, yada, yada. That's what happens. That's what's part of being a human, right? The way you deal with people is the way you deal with people. Everybody deals with things the way they deal with things. Now, on that subject, but before I move on to the next or the next point I wanted to make, I'm just going to say, certain people that are watching me, if you know who you are, no hard feelings, and I'm open to talk again if you want to talk. And we can move forward and make things better. We don't have to fight. We don't have to go into these little arguments that we do, and we can move forward. I'll just say that. But anyways, with that being said, I do have people that do show up and try to tell me how to be as a person. Now, that's one thing I am not going to take kindly to, right? Because I'm not trying to tell people how to be. Everybody can be how they want. But when you come to me and you try to tell me how to be as a person, I have a problem with that. I'm not telling anybody how to be anything. You do whatever you want to do, right? I'm putting out information. You guys take it how you want and do what you want with it. But don't come to me and say, this is how we do things. This is how we are. Like, don't include me in your little group. I'm not part of any group. I'm not part of any of that stuff, right? I don't belong to any religion, none of that. So don't put me in your little group and say, this is how we do stuff. I don't do stuff how other people do things, right? I do things the way I do them. And the reason why I'm saying that, I'll be more specific. I had somebody come and tell me, oh, well, this is how we do stuff. Like, in terms of, they felt like I was like someone like them. So they're like, well, you shouldn't talk to people this way because this is how we do stuff. And I'm like, I'm not part of your little weak group. I'm an individual. I'm a different kind of person. I do things my way. And I'm not going to tell them how to do things. I'm just going to tell them not to tell me how to do things, right? They can do whatever they want. However they want to deal with people is their prerogative. And again, I try to go out of my way to accommodate people in conversations. So if there's an issue, or if you come at me the wrong way, then that's on you, right? But I can't work with you if you don't want to work with me. Again, it has to be a halfway thing, right? Like, we got to meet halfway. It can't just be me trying to make things work and the other person isn't putting in the effort, right? It's not going to work that way. It's just not. And that goes for anything, not just conversations. It goes for anybody that's listening. So again, if you come to me and say, oh, this is the way things should be done because you feel that's the way it should be done, I'm not you. I'm not whoever you think I am. I am me, and I'm going to do things the way I feel they should be done. Now, I'm going to address a couple of comments I got because people are talking about Kimberly and Goguen is charging for UNN or something. I don't know. And all this stuff with her C.A.R.E. Telegram. Apparently, there's some drama going on there. Look, I don't really follow the Telegram that much. Maybe I should. But as of right now, I'm not. Because I have other things going on in my personal life, so I'm not really tracking that. It's not really a priority for me. Like, it's not something I'm like, oh, I need to go look at the Telegram chat. I'll look at it once in a while, but I don't really pay attention to what's going on there. What I pay attention to is Kim Goguen, right? And she may be in that chat sometimes, but no offense to anybody either. Like, I'm not knocking anybody or anything, but I talk about Kim Goguen. I don't talk about the people in the chat. That's not what this channel is. I'm not here to, oh, look at what the C.A.R.E. chat said, right? That's not what I'm here for. I'm talking about Kim and what she says. That's it. That's it. And that's just one thing I do, right? I talk about a lot of different things, but my point that I'm trying to make is if there are people in her chat having drama and arguments and saying, oh, they don't want to pay for UNN, it costs too much. That's none of my business. That's Kim's business. That's however Kim wants to run her chat and her UNN and whatever else she's doing. That's how she runs it. So if she's charging people for something that people feel they shouldn't be charged for, that's her business and your business. That's not my business. Why am I saying that? Because if you don't want to pay for something, you don't have to pay for it. If you don't want, you should never in life, and this is the truth, you should never in life expect anything for free. Nothing. Kim, as much, this is my understanding, as much as she says she has control over the money system or whatever, she doesn't have access to funds like that. According to the things I've heard her say, maybe I missed something, but she can't just grant herself money. So she, just like everybody else, from my understanding, has to find a way to earn money. And this is how she does it. And I've also heard her say that she's kind of stuck where she's at. So she has very limited options as to what she can do. And I'm sure you guys know why she's stuck there, right? Because there are people after her. Like, she's a wanted person. Like, they're trying to get rid of her, right? So obviously she doesn't have too many options as to what she can do. And this is what she's doing. This is how she's making her money. She's putting out information, and that's how she earns a living. Is it ethical or not? I don't know. Like, everybody has to find a way to survive in this world, right? But just because she's doing that doesn't mean she's a bad person, and doesn't mean that you have to pay for it. She's not making anybody pay for that. You don't have to pay for it. You may miss out on the news, the UNN news, but at least you don't have to pay for it, right? That's the way I see it. That's why it's kind of childish to hear people complain about it. Would I charge people? Well, I don't charge for anything I put out here, right? It's pretty much free. You can listen to me for free. I don't plan on charging anybody for anything anytime soon, unless I'm actually selling a product or something. But that's a long ways away from this time, so I'm not even thinking about it. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, you have control over your own money. And if you feel like something's not worth paying for, then don't pay for it. And if you feel like her information is worth paying for, then pay for it. But you can't control what she does. If she wants to charge for it, that's what she does. And that's her business. She can do that. But again, the only reason why I'm not for or against it, right? I don't care what she does in terms of that. But what I'm trying to say is, I can understand why she's doing it. If everything she's saying is true and you guys follow her and believe what she says, then this is one of the few ways that she can make money. And she doesn't have access to the money. Like, she can't just give herself $1 million and that's it. I don't know how much money she has. I don't know anything about that. That's not my business. I don't watch Kim Goguen to how much money does Kim Goguen have. I don't care. That's not what I watch her for. And hint, hint, if you don't want to pay for that, there are ways that you can maybe find another way to watch it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more than that. But there are ways to get information. There are ways to know what you want to know if you really want to know it. That's all I'm going to say. But if she wants to charge for that, that's her business. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to talk anymore about it. I think I beat that dead horse. And you guys got to be adults about it and say, is this worth paying for or not? And that's the bottom line. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I really don't care what she does with UNN or C.A.R.E or any of that stuff. All I care about is what kind of information is she putting out, right? There are other people that have, Carrie Cassidy charges for stuff. David Icke charges for stuff. All these people charge for their information. And they have to make a living, right? They have to survive in this world. And if their job is to put out information, then that's what they do. And I'm going to be honest, I hope to make this a career and a job myself at some point. Make it a source of income. But right now, it would be a long out. First of all, I'm never going to charge anybody anything for this, right? So if you come here to watch me, whatever I put out, whatever I say, it's going to be for free. So you can count on that. But if I put out merchandise or shirts or something like that, then obviously I'm going to charge for that. But that's so far away that I'm not even considering it. Right? But anyways, all I'm trying to say is everybody that, for the most part, the big people, right? The people that put out a lot of information, most of them charge. So Kim is just doing what everybody else is doing, and she's trying to survive and, make a living. So I don't know what else to tell you guys, right? If you think about her position and what she's doing for the world, if you believe her, then there are not too many things that she can do to make money, right? You got to really think about that. But anyways, I think I've said enough. I think you guys get the point. If you like, comment, subscribe, share this video where you can. Thanks to all the new subscribers. If you know anybody that you want to share this content with that isn't watching, please do that as well. Try to introduce them to me. I'm going to try to put out more content. And I hope you guys come back for the next video. Take care.